Hi, welcome back to your new lesson. This is Lakshmikant Tiwari. In this lesson, I am going to teach you about combining NLP models and custom rules in SPACY statistical model. So many times, what happens? Text data is so wide, and the text data model which you want to classify is not available in SPACY. In that case, you need to add your own model. Okay, so the first of all I'm going to show you how you can expand named entity, like how you can identify if there is Mr., Doctor, Miss, or etc. Earlier you see, without modification it was saying that Alex Smith is a person, but after modification it is saying that Dr. Alex Smith is a person. Alright, and after that I'll show you how you can use part of speech and dependency parsing, and then how you can use your custom rule to identify the person's organization. Like, let's say if I say Alex Smith was working at the Google, so with this NLP processing you can identify that whether Alex Smith was working at Google, whether Alex Smith was working at Google or is he working currently at Google. Whether this is the past tense, are we talking in past, or are we talking in the present. Alright, so this is how you see here in the final. If I say that Alex Smith worked at Google, if I run this, it says that okay, Alex Smith, its organization was Google, and the past tense is the true. That's mean it has worked. Alex Smith worked at Google. Alright, and if I say Alex Smith was working at Google, now you see here it is the true. But if I say it here is working at the Google, that's mean it's a false, it's not a past. Alright, perfect. So without wasting time, let's go ahead and start this brand new lesson. Alright, so let's get started with the combining NLP models and custom rules. Do you know why we need to include here a custom rule? A SPACY model is already trained on millions of the data sample, especially a text data samples. But the text data samples are so wide, it's so wide. In the real world, sometimes what happens, the statistical model which is already trained doesn't have a word which we get into our real life or real world. So what we do here, on the already trained model, we can add a custom rule, our own model, like we have been doing in CNN and deep learning. So we can add our own model so that it can perform better. And here is an example of a pipelining sequence of a SPACY library which we are using in this lesson. A text first will be the tokenized, and then a pipelining stage is the tagging, parsing, like a dependency parsing, named entity recognition, and then finally sentence segmentation, and so on. Then finally final outputs are produced. If you don't have a SPACY, you can download a SPACY with these three commands. And this is the lesson number 7, and if you have not watched previous videos, you can go ahead at my channel KGP Talkie. There you can watch all the previous videos. So there are 6 videos on natural language processing already. I have uploaded on KGP Talkie, and before that there are so many other tutorials on the deep learning in the Python, feature selections and classical machine learning, visualizations, pandas, numpy, etc. Alright, so there are so many videos you can learn from those videos. Let's go ahead and start expanding the named entities. Why do we need to expand the named entities? For example, let's say I have this name, Mr. Lakshmikant. Alright, so if I pass this sentence, if I pass this entity in SPACY, then SPACY will say that okay, Lakshmikant is a name or entity, a person name. Alright, but you see here this is the Mr. Lakshmikant. Alright, so with the custom rule, what we are going to do, we are going to add this much Mr., Miss, Doctor, or what your the title name you want to include in your model. So that is why we need a custom rule or a custom model which we can include in already trained model in SPACY. Alright, so let's go ahead and start importing the specie first. You can do import specie, and then from specie dot matcher, import matcher, and then here we have from specie dot tokens. We will be needing these. Okay, import span. All right, and then from, if you don't get anything in this lesson, please go ahead and watch first previous videos in which I have been already covering specie in detail, like a tokenization, matching, and named entity recognitions, and the tagging part of a speech, and dependency parsing, etc. All right, so specie here, from a specie import displacey. All right, so it says that we don't have a matcher actually. Yes, this should be here. All right, so we have here our matcher, span, and displacey. Let's go ahead and load the NLP model first. Here NLP is equal to specie dot load, and then here we have en core. Okay, en core wave, en core wave underscore sm. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and now create a document. So here doc, which I'm going to create, is NLP, and inside this I'm going to put here Dr. Alex Smith chaired first board meeting at Google. All right, so here this is the doc which we have. It is already tokenized and parsed, etc. Like here in this, as soon as we pass it in NLP, all these things is done, like tokenization, tagging, parsing, and named entity recognition. Only we need to get the tags in human readable format. All right, so let's go ahead and get the entity name. How we can get that? It's really very simple. Here I'm gonna just get an get it in the form of a in form of a list. This is the another way to print the things. Here ent dot text, I'll explain you. Let me first write this. Then here we have ent dot label. All right, then for ent in doc dot ent. What is happening? This for loop is running on doc.ent, and that is being stored in ent, and then ent is a tuple, and that tuple value is being actually sorry, this should be like this. That tuple value is being stored in the ent.text and ent.label actually. Oh, it's not a tuple actually. This is the object, and from this object we can get the text and the label of this. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and run this. So it says that Alex Smith is the person name, and first is of course ordinal, and Google is organization name. But you see here it has missed this doctor. Now what is our task here? Our task is to modify this named entity recognition so that it should include this doctor or Mr. or whatever before this Alex Smith it should include. All right. So what we are going to do first, we are going to define a function here. So define add underscore title. In it will receive a document there, and then here a new ent, that's the new entity which we are looking to modify. A for loop is here ent in doc.ents. all right, so how it is working here? This is a new entity actually, that should be the new entity. This is the new entity list in which we will be storing a modified entity, and then this for loop is iterating through all the entities. Okay, so here what I'm going to check here, if there is any Dr., Mr., Miss or Mrs. before the entity, we will include that into this ent label. All right, so here if ent dot label is equal to person. All right, so if it is a person, and if this is not a start, in fact if this is start, there is no doctor etc., then there is no need to check any salutation before that. Then what I'm going to check here, ent dot start not equal to 0. So with this we make sure that the entity is not the first word, and ent label of the entity is also a person, not an organization like here. The Google is organization name. All right, so what we are going to do here, we are going to just see previous token is equal to doc and then ent dot start minus 1. That's mean if there is a person there, and then I'm gonna get a previous token, that's mean this token. And not necessarily this will be the doctor, Mr. or Miss. This could be anything like hey or hi, hello or whatever. But we will match this, okay? Just see here how we are going to match this. So let's see, after this entity we have got the previous token. So once we get the previous token, then we are going to check this previous token. So if previous token dot text value in, there is, now I'm going to create a list, or just you can say a set a doctor, and if this is inside the doctor like this, or a Mr. like this, or Mr. like or Mr. like this. Now you can include like Miss and Mrs. etc., whatever you like. So if previous token is inside this one, then now we need to modify our ent dot label. And to do that, what we can do here, we need to get here new entity. The first of all, get the new entity. New int is equal to, I'm going to first take a span which includes, which starts from the start to the end, okay, in the doc. So ent dot start, okay, minus 1. That's mean, let's say the token has started from here, but I'm gonna get a new entity which starts from ent dot start minus 1. That's mean it will start from here. And then I'm going to pass end as well. So that is the ent dot end, and then I'm going to update the label, and that label is ent dot label. All right, and then new entities, new entities dot append, and in this I'm going to append that new ent in that. So let's say if it doesn't match, I mean the previous token, if it doesn't match to any of these like doctor or Mr., then what to do? Okay, if it doesn't match, then I can just say that here new entities dot append a previous entity which is unmodified entity. Once it is done, then what we can do here, we can return from this function by assigning doc dot entities is equal to new entities. All right, so let's go ahead and return this doc. Perfect. So what is happening here, we have modified this entity so that it can include doctor or Mr., and then you can also expand this list. It depends on you. And then once it is done, that's mean once entity is modified, if it includes doctor or Mr., then a return is done there, doc return. Okay, now let's go ahead and call here NLP is equal to spacey dot load, and then here en core, then here we have babe underscore sm. So new NLP is loaded here. Then I'm gonna add here NLP dot add inside the pipeline. Then I'm going to add this title, that is the add title, and that I'm gonna add after the named entity in pipeline. Okay, so after ner, if we add the before ner, then it will not be able to get the first entity like Alexis Smith. All right, so the pipelining addition has been done. We can cut and paste it here in a single line. All right, let's go ahead and modify the doc. that doc is here. So let's go ahead and paste it here and print it. Now it says that you see the Alex Smith, the person. Do you know why it is happening? Because we have not parsed the document yet. That's mean we need to parse this document after we have added the pipeline in NLP. All right, so now we need to first run this so that the new rule can be applied on this document. All right, so run this, and now you see here it has got Dr. Alex Smith. Since we have been checking for a person, that is why it has removed other labels as well. So this is how you can modify named entity recognizer in a Spatie model, and you can add your own custom model. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to show you how you can use the part of speech and dependency parsing. And the parsing, that is the dependency parsing. All right, so in this I'm going to show you, let's say you have a document in which it's a kind of, let's say, the resume in which employee introduction is there, or a cover letter of the employee is there, and in the cover letter employee has written that his previous experience, like let's say Alex Smith has worked at KGP Talkie, or Alex Smith was working at a KGP Talkie, but now he is working at Google. All right, so with this, now if you want to extract the information regarding the organization of Alex Smith, what was the previous organization of the Alex Smith, in that case we need to understand the part of speech and the dependency of the verb along with the person. Okay, let me show you what I'm trying to say you. Like let's say you have NLP is equal to Spatie dot we already, yes, so actually we have modified NLP here, that is why I'm going to load the NLP once again. So NLP dot Spatie dot load, then en core underscore web underscore sm. All right, now here doc is equal to the NLP. It says that, let's say, remove the doctor. Alex Smith, let's say Alex Smith was working at Google, let's say, was working at Google. Okay, so with this, let's say if we print the named entity, if we display actually using a Spatie, what we will get here, a Spatie dot render. In that we have a doc and then a style which we are going to parse here, that is the dependency parsing. All right, so with this, now you see one more thing we can do here, options is equal to a compact, compact is true, and then I should also increase add the distance here. All right, so with this, now you can see here what we are having here. This was is auxiliary verb. Now if you don't know these annotation, you can visit here this link, spatie.io API annotations. So in this annotation, in the part of speech tagging, we have those things. Okay, so we have those things like auxiliary verb. Where is auxiliary verb? AUX. You see here it starts with the A, but AUX should be here. Let me see. Yeah, so it says that this is auxiliary verb like is, has, done, will, do, should, all that. So all these are auxiliary verb. All right, and then the working was a verb. Okay, and this was the add positions, and here is a proper noun. Alex Smith is also proper noun, and these are the together is a compound. All right, so with this, what we are going to do, with this we are going to parse that whether in this sentence Alex Smith was working at Google, whether it is in past tense, I mean whether the person has worked at Google or is he working in the Google. So that is what we are going to do in this module. So to do that, I mean to get the person's organization name in which he has already worked, we need to first get the we need to write a function. So I have already written a function. Let me copy and paste it here, then I'll explain you that function. Okay, so here it is a function. So this function is define get person organization, in which I am passing here a doc. After that, what is happening here, I am getting a person entities. Okay, person entity, how I am getting that? It's really simple for loop like we do always for int in doc.int. So that int is coming here, and then here I am extending that another Python the comparison line in a single list. If ent, that's mean if ent dot label is equal to person, then that's mean the person Alexis Smith is a person, as we found earlier that this is a person name. So once it found that, okay, Alexis Smith is a person in token, then it goes to a root of that entity, and then it find out the root of that entity lemma. Okay, so you need to go ahead and watch my previous videos in which I have talked about the lemma, like here in this lesson. Okay, so in the if lemma is work, right, so you see here it's working or work. So the lemma is base or a root form of any word like working, worked, and work. Okay, so the base form is just a work. Then here I'm gonna get here prepositions. So the token for token head dot children. Okay, what are the other heads in that? Like this, the preposition. Okay, so let's say this is the head, and in this head, what root form of the verb? So it has children, and its children, let's say if it is the preposition, like here let's say the at. Okay, so if it is a preposition, then prep in preps. So what are the prepositions which we are going to get? And you see here there is just one preposition. Okay, then what we are going to do here, in this line of code, we are going to get that organization name. Okay, so with that preposition and with that another the P, that's the, I think, the proper objective. Let me see the POBG that you should get somewhere here. Do we have it here? POBG, let me search it. That should be somewhere here, the proper objective perhaps, that name is. So you should get that somewhere here. Okay, POG. Let me see. Okay, it's not, I'm not getting that here, but that should be somewhere here. Okay, so the moreover you should get that here in this line. What I'm doing here, so that is what I'm looking here at the organization. All right, so once I get that organization, then I'm going to print that person. Okay, the entity, the organization, and the past in which it has been working. So VBD, you see here all those VBD, you will get that here. You should get that VBD here. Yes, so this is the verb. All right, so this is the past tense of a verb. So in this, what I am going, I am comparing the tag of that verb is, if it is a past tense, then that's when the person was working in past to that company. So let's go ahead and run this. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to call first spaCy dot pipeline import merge entities. All right, so I'm going to merge this entity, new get person organization, with the original the entity in a pipeline. entity recognition. So NLP, we need to reload again. NLP space dot load, and then here we have en underscore core underscore wave underscore sm. All right, then here we have NLP dot add pipeline. So NLP dot add pipe, in that I'm gonna do here merge entities, just run this, and then finally NLP dot add pipe. In that I'm gonna add that, the person organization in the pipeline of that NLP. All right, so let's go ahead and get this document, copy it and parse it with this new one. So it says that here the pipeline component get person organizations returned a none. If you are using custom component, maybe you forgotten to return the process talk. Perhaps yes, I have forget to return the document here. Okay, so that document should be written here. All right, so let's go ahead and run this, all this again. Now it says that yes, there is the Alex Smith organization Google, but the past tense is fail. You know why? Because here it is was working. But let's say if I say here worked, Alex Smith worked at Google and run this, then it says that okay, past tense is the true here, and Alex Smith worked at the organization Google and past tense is the true. All right, now the one thing you might notice here, that if I had written here was working at Google, it said that past tense is a false, but if I said that it worked at Google, then it said it's the true. Although in either case, in both cases, the person worked at Google in past. So what we can do now, we need to modify our this function so that we can add the was working as well. Okay, so let's go ahead, modify model. So here I'm gonna modify this model. So there are few lines especially which will be modified here. Let me tell you those the lines which will be the modified. The initial lines will not be the modified, but after this for loop and this organization, there are, in fact this print will not be there also there. Let's say once we get this organization, then we need to modify, we need to add the auxiliary verb like was working. So these 3 line of more code which we can add in our earlier function, like it will get auxiliary verb and then it will compare if it is VBD or VBG. All right, so what is the VBG? You see here, let me show you VBG. You should get here the VBG in both way. Okay, so whether a verb directly like a past tense, a verb like like verb gerund or present participle, was working or worked. So let's go ahead and run this. So once we run this, then what we can do, we can just copy these 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy these 4. So I'm gonna copy and paste it here. Okay, so we can load this one, this one, this one and this one. Now here we need to write here Alex Smith was working at Google. Now if we run this, it says that okay, it is not returning anything. Yes, so we have missed here print actually. So what we can do here, we can print it, but before print, let me see everything is clear here. Yes, so what we are going to do here, we are going to use a print here. Okay, so in print we have a person name, so that is ENT, and then finally we have organization name, that is orgs, and then I'm gonna identify whether past is true or false. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. Now you should get here past is true. Alright, so in both cases now we should get that past is true. Whether we say that Alex Smith was working at Google or I say Alex Smith worked at Google, in both cases now it is true. Alright, so this is how you can see, and moreover this is how you can add your own custom model in named entity recognition to identify whether person was working at that organization or a person is working at that organization. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video, and please like and subscribe this channel so that you can get updates directly into your inbox. If you have not watched my previous videos, you can go ahead and watch my previous videos. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.